So I'm pulling all these up. I'm going to start clearing this bed. We've got loads of beetroots in here. As you can see, they're still quite a good size. I want to get this bed cleared now. There's carrots, onions. I mean, there's some still good onions in here. Should have been pulled up by now. We are in October. I mean, don't even look at this. But ignore that, eh? That should have been pulled out about 8 months ago. That's a radish that's been left in. But then again, I might leave it in, collect the seeds. Because these are radish that got left in. Yeah, I showed you on my last video. Look at the size of that. Yeah, no good to eat. But I'm going to pull these beetroots up. I'm going to cut the roots off, cut the stems off, and I'm going to blanch them and freeze them. But I ain't going to put all this stuff on the compost heap. Just going to leave it where it is. I'm going to weed the bed, cut the tops off, leave it on here, probably put some other stuff on, grass cuttings, probably clean the chickens out, put them on. But yes, going to blanch them and freeze them because we've got cupboards full of pickled beetroot. That's not bad. We'll get the rest of the rubbish off, give it a clean up in the house. So, got plenty of them. And all them leaves will just sit there for the worms to rot down over winter. And what's left over the leaves and stuff that are left over when we come to plant, I'll just pick off. But on my last video, a couple of weeks ago, I put my onion sets in. But as you can see, they're all shooting up now. Now I've put some ash on here, some fire ash, some wood ash. Make sure it's wood ash. They do like it. It's rained a lot, so it's all washed in. So if you have got a fire pit or a log burner at home, I mean, coal ash doesn't do much. I mean, you put it on, it won't do no harm, I believe not. But yeah, these are all coming up now. The ones at the front were put in, I think, maybe 2 weeks before the ones at the back. That's why they're coming up faster. So once the ones start coming up at the back, I'm just going to put a thin layer of grass clippings around them. One being pulled out there. That'll be the birds. I'll keep it well weeded. I say that every time, doesn't work. The dark nights are coming, the dark mornings. Don't have much time. So anyway, let's get these beetroots out. Well, all I can say is it's the worst year ever for pumpkins for me. I think it's my own fault. Lack of watering. But as you can see, they are cute. But the size of an apple, I don't think we're going to be carving much this year. But yeah, I was just lazy on the watering. The white one did okay, but there's only one. It is Halloween next week. So, but all the pumpkins have died back. But the shark fin melons that are still hung up here because I'm lazy, and the fact that I don't actually like them, but they do grow well and look well. You can see how tatty it is. There's the old conker tree. Yeah, it's gone brown now. Be careful out here on windy days, you do get a few conkers on the head. But for some reason, the shark fin melons are still producing. Now I'm not really bothered, because if I was bothered, I would have picked them by now. But they do make good chicken food. Not really, because chickens didn't even eat them, that's how they taste. So yeah, lack of watering, baby pumpkins. Well, happy Halloween. So basically what we've got here is, this is a section of my veg patch, and I won't need it till next summer. We did have potatoes in here, the potatoes are out. We've cleared up the weeds out of it. I say we, me. And this is like my version of lazy composting. All that is just stuff that I'd normally put in the compost heap, but if I put it in the compost heap, I only have to get it back out the compost heap. So what I'll do is I'll just dump it on this ground. We'll let it rot down. I'll cover it with this sheet, put this sheet over, basically because all them leaves will just blow away. It'll push it down. I'm going to put woods all the way around this sheet, just resting it on, just so Mr. Hedgehog can't get in there, because I'll be wanting to work this before Mr. Hedgehog wakes up. So if we keep Mr. Hedgehog out, Hedgehog's got plenty of places to go. We have plenty of places for him to go, so don't worry about Mr. Hedgehog. Or Mrs. Sorry, I do apologise. But we've got in here, we've just got, there's some grapevines, we've got hops, leaves, grass cuttings, a bit of the eucalyptus tree came down the branch. So as you can see, there is some thicker stuff there that probably won't rot down in time, which obviously when I come to sort it out, I'll just take out what hasn't rotted down. We'll get rid of that. I mean, there's some rose bushes in there, bits, whatever we've trimmed up in the garden. There's even some wood ash out the fire, out the log burner. We've chucked that on there. Then hopefully a lot of this would have broke down and be good for the garden. So we had potatoes in here last year. Not sure what we're putting in next year. Did I say last year? This year we've had potatoes in. Not sure what we're putting in next year, but I am thinking of buying a polytunnel frame to put a net over it to try and keep my cauliflowers and broccolis all clean, and my cabbages. And the cheapest way I can think of is just to buy a polytunnel frame, because the price of wood at the moment is sky high. It's the time that it takes to build it. It needs to be solid, so it's the cheapest way to make a brassica cage. I'll probably just use scaffold netting. There is better materials out there, but keep the cost down. And what I'll do is I'll build it, I'll sit it on the ground, and wherever the legs land, I'll get some reinforcement bar and I'll just hammer it in at the ground, and then I'll be able to just lift it up and sit it on top of the reinforcement bar. So the reinforcement bar will go up the legs, which I did with my other frame for my melons and stuff, my arch. And then the year after, I should be able to just lift it off and we'll be able to just move it up a bit, and we'll do it again. But in the meantime, we'll get this filled up with leaves, grass clippings. I'll cover it up. There's even a bit of kitchen waste in there. I can see some eggshells, tea bags, anything that rots down, anything that goes in the compost heap will go on here. We'll cover it up. As I'm clearing the garden, might just add a bit more, or I might just chuck in the compost heap. But I have got a few more tarpaulins, so I might just do a few. We can all help. And fingers crossed we get better soil, because this soil was a bit hard when digging in it. So, because we don't have much light on the night now. By the time I've finished work, well, clocks go back at the weekend, so there'll be no light on the night. It'll be just the weekends. Apparently I have to spend quality time with the other half on a weekend. She loves the dark nights because it's snuggle time. I plod about with a head torch on in the garden. Never mind, summer will be soon here again. I'll be able to crack back on. So while it's light, I'm going to get some more stuff for this compost heap. Get it built up, and it should just drop back down. We'll be able to just keep topping it up. Bish bash bosh.